It was a night like any other. The city slept. Its rhythms slowed to a gentle hum. Traffic lights changed for no one. Streetlights cast long, empty shadows. And in a grand, silent temple of art and history, the only sound was the almost imperceptible whisper of climate control, preserving centuries of genius for another day. But in the deepest hours of that night, a crime was unfolding. A crime of audacity, of precision, and of breathtaking scale. Not a smash and grab, not a frantic act of desperation, but a performance. A carefully choreographed ballet of theft that would leave a nation questioning everything it thought it knew about security, about value, and about the very art that defined its soul. Imagine waking up to find a nation's most prized artistic treasures gone. Not just one painting, but an entire collection vanished overnight. The frames, empty. The walls, bare. The vaults, hollowed out. How could something so audacious, so meticulously planned, disappear without a trace, leaving a country in shock and the art world in utter disbelief? This isn't a scene from a Hollywood thriller. This is what happened. This is the story of the heist that rocked a nation's art world. A story of shadows, of whispers, and of masterpieces that simply evaporated. Welcome to Criminal Codex. The target was one of the most respected institutions in the country, a museum not just of art, but of national identity. Its walls were a timeline of genius, housing works that were, quite literally, priceless. You couldn't put a number on them. They were beyond value. And because of that, security was a fortress. Motion sensors, pressure pads, thermal imaging, laser tripwires, a dedicated control room staffed 24/7, and guards who walked routes so precise they could be timed to the second. It was a vault, an impenetrable box designed to keep the world out and the art safe within. The idea of breaching it was considered by experts to be impossible. But on that night, the impossible became a reality. The initial breach was a masterpiece of misdirection in itself. It wasn't brute force. There were no explosions to shatter the night's silence, no smashed windows leaving a trail of glittering evidence. This was a key, not a crowbar. A digital ghost in the machine. Or perhaps a very real, very physical entry through a door that should never have been open. Some theories suggest an insider, someone with knowledge of a blind spot in the camera coverage, a flaw in the alarm system's code, a door whose magnetic lock could be fooled. Others point to an approach so simple it was brilliant, entering through a utility corridor, a ventilation shaft, or even posing as janitorial staff hours before and hiding in wait until the building was surrendered to the night. However they did it, they crossed the threshold. They were in. The temple had been violated, and the gods of art were helpless.
Inside, the real performance began. This was a masterclass in deception. We know from the fractured timeline pieced together by investigators that they moved with a chilling calm. They knew the guard rotations down to the second. They understood the patterns of the motion sensors, perhaps even disabling them remotely, or moving with a slowness that defied detection. They avoided the pressure-sensitive floors in the main galleries. They were ghosts. Shadows flitting through the halls, their only purpose the methodical, quiet dismantling of a nation's cultural heritage. They weren't vandals, they were surgeons. In one famous example, they didn't slash a painting from its frame, they used precise tools to carefully remove the canvas from its stretcher, leaving the ornate frame hanging on the wall, a perfect, terrible illusion for the morning guards to discover. This wasn't a theft of passion, it was an extraction, a clinical, cold, and highly intelligent operation. Who were they? The key players. This was not the work of a single individual. This was a team. A conductor, the mastermind who planned every note of this symphony of crime. There were lookouts, eyes and ears on the outside, monitoring police bands, watching the streets. And there were the players inside. The ones with the steady hands, the knowledge of art handling, the ability to remain ice cool under the immense pressure of what they were doing. They had to have a driver, a getaway planned with military precision. But here, the story takes one of its most bizarre turns. There was no screeching of tires, no frantic escape. Some theories suggest they simply walked out into the night, the art tucked away in bags, looking for all the world like late-night students or shift workers. Others believe they had a vehicle parked in a blind spot, perhaps a van marked with a fake utility company logo, something so mundane it became invisible. However they left, they melted away. They became the city itself. And they took with them a treasure trove that was, by any measure, incalculable. The morning after. The discovery. Imagine being that guard, doing your rounds, the quiet hum of the building your only companion. You turn a corner, and you see it. An empty space on the wall. Then another, and another. The initial reaction isn't panic, it's confusion. A profound, disorienting sense that your eyes are lying to you. Then the radio crackles to life with other voices, other guards, seeing the same impossible thing in different wings of the museum. The alarm is finally raised, but it's too late. Hours too late. The crime scene was vast, but it was pristine. There were no fingerprints, no dropped tools, no convenient clues left behind in a rush. The investigators who arrived found nothing but absence. The perfect crime scene, because the only evidence was what was missing. The immediate aftermath was a whirlwind of chaos and embarrassment. The police were baffled. The museum directors were horrified. The public was outraged. How could this happen? The headlines screamed the news, and a nation felt a collective sense of violation.
This wasn't just a robbery, it was a wound. An international hunt was launched. Interpol was notified. Every port, every airport, every border was theoretically on alert. But how do you stop a Rembrandt? How do you spot a Monet? These weren't boxes of electronics. They were unique, instantly recognizable objects. The theory was they must be hidden away, waiting for the heat to die down. Or perhaps they were already overseas, smuggled out in a diplomatic pouch or on a private yacht. The lack of leads was deafening. Tips flooded in from psychics and conspiracy theorists, but the real trail was stone cold. This led, of course, to the swirling vortex of theories surrounding the fate of the masterpieces. Theory 1, the collector. A shadowy, ultra-wealthy individual who commissioned the heist to possess these works in a private, secret viewing room, for their eyes only. A trophy room of the world's greatest art, a testament to ego and limitless wealth. Theory 2, the ransom. The idea that the thieves would eventually make contact demanding a huge sum for the safe return of the art. But no call ever came, no message,
no proof of life. Theory 3, and perhaps the most tragic, the lost. That the art was badly damaged during the heist or its transport and was destroyed by panicked thieves. That these immortal works ended up in a landfill or burned, lost to humanity forever. And then Theory 4, the undercurrent. That the paintings became the ultimate form of black market currency, not to be sold, but to be used as collateral in high-stakes deals between criminal organizations. A stolen masterpiece worth millions, changing hands in a locked briefcase as a guarantee for a shipment of arms or drugs. Its value isn't in its beauty, but in its power as a token. The cultural fallout was profound and lasting. The public's trust was shattered. If this fortress could be breached, what place was safe? Museums around the world underwent a massive, expensive overhaul of their security systems. Insurance premiums skyrocketed. But more than that, a piece of the national soul was missing. These paintings were more than pigment on canvas. They were stories. They were history. They were moments of sublime human achievement that belonged to everyone. Their theft was a theft from every citizen. It raised uncomfortable ethical questions. What is the true value of art? Is it the millions on an insurance ledger, or is it the intangible way it inspires, challenges, and connects us? This heist proved that its value on the black market was somehow higher than its value to the human spirit, and that was a devastating realization. And so, the years passed. The case grew cold. Leads dried up. Investigators retired. The story faded from the front pages, but it never left the hearts of those who cared. It became a legend, a ghost story for the art world. The unanswered questions continue to haunt us. Who were they? Where are the paintings? Are they sitting in a climate-controlled storage unit somewhere, waiting to be discovered? Or are they gone for good? The mastermind, the conductor of this entire operation, has never been identified. They are a ghost, their greatest masterpiece, not the theft itself, but their own disappearance into the ether.
The legacy of this heist is a cautionary tale written in empty frames. It changed everything. It forced a complete paradigm shift in museum security. It's no longer just about alarms and guards. It's about layered, defense-in-depth strategies, behavioral analysis, and international cooperation. This single event wrote the modern playbook for protecting our cultural heritage. It also cemented the unsolved art crime into popular culture. It's the ultimate what-if story, a mystery that refuses to die, inspiring books, documentaries, and yes, videos like this one. It speaks to something deep within us, the allure of the perfect crime, the romance of the master criminal, and the heartbreaking loss of beauty. In the end, this story is about more than a theft. It is a statement on the enduring, stubborn power of art itself. Because even though these paintings are gone, they are not forgotten. We still talk about them. We still study the empty spaces they left behind. We still dream of their recovery. Their absence has, in a strange and terrible way, become a part of their story. They have achieved a new kind of immortality. They exist now in two places, wherever they are in the physical world and forever in the mind of a public that refuses to let them go. The heist was a crime against property, against history, and against a nation, but it could not kill the idea of the art. And perhaps that is the final, twisted victory of the masterpieces themselves. If you have any information, any theory, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, about this or any other unsolved art crime, the door is always open. The investigation in some form, never truly ends. The search for truth is what we do here at Criminal Codex. Thank you for listening. If you found this deep dive into the shadows of the art world compelling, then do us a favor. Hit that like button. It truly helps the channel grow. Subscribe to Criminal Codex and ring that notification bell, because we are just getting started. We have so many more stories of mysteries that defy explanation, of crimes that shocked the world, and of investigations that plunged into the unknown. We have a whole catalog of mysteries waiting for you, so go and binge them right now.